Hello everyone, it's Ange here. I'm coming to do the energy of the week, and right away a card jumped out of my deck. So first I want to introduce you to my desk, which is called Healing Burnout with the Angels. I'm writing a book at the moment on burnout and leadership, and how true spirituality can help um, come out of burnout, or heal burnout, or even prevent burnout, because this is something that I do in my private work. And one of the very good ways to prevent burnout is to know how to manage your priorities. So today is how to prioritize, and I find that particularly interesting because one of my clients asked me literally last week how to do that. So I'm going to share a little bit what I do to prioritize. First of all, I plan in my business. I have a business planner, a 90-day business planner that I also consider to be a manifesting planner, because when you write things down, when you write your goals down, when you're structured, this enables you to manifest things better, because your intention is laser clear. So the first thing I do is at the start of any period of 90 days, and we're coming up to the end of April, so this could be a really good time for you to first order the planner, and I'll put a link underneath so that you can do that. And at the start, I also teach you how to plan intuitively, because one of the biggest problems I've had by following business coaches is that their planning was too linear, too logical. And let me give you an example. When you plan with logic, you will say things like, I need to do this, or I need to do that. So you would be following someone else's blueprint for whatever you want to do, rather than what feels right for you. Now, I'm not encouraging, and I don't live in the fantasy world or completely, according to whatever mood I'm in. This is not what I'm talking about. But even recently, I interviewed someone for my book who was a successful business owner for over 30 years. But one of his biggest regrets, and I know this is what happened with my career as a lawyer, is that I follow my mind rather than my heart. So I became a lawyer because it was the right thing to do, and because I thought I would have some financial safety from it. And there's nothing wrong with having financial safety, but if it means that you're pursuing something that is not nourishing you at a soul level, then that is going to deplete you, and ultimately you might become ill from it even. So priorities is about tuning in to what lights you up. And I believe that in the world now, as it is, there are more opportunities for us to learn a living from things that light us up, rather than following um, a more traditional path. And there's lots of flexibility, and also people are starting to question whether accumulating wealth for the sake of it is really that important, and they're weighting quality of life as opposed to how much money they have in the bank. Not to say that one excludes the others and you have to make a choice, but it's all about this holistic approach to things. So priorities could start with you being incredibly clear about what you want out of life. Do you want more free time in your life? Do you want more clients? Do you want more money? Do you want more visibility? What does success really look like? And then from there, you can very clearly set your priorities and put it through the filter. So once you've done your planning, what happens is you have a clear goal for the month. For example, I'm looking at the board on the wall because I've literally, in my planner, there's a page where you do your priorities. Let me just show you quickly, because it's an exciting planner. Which was inspired by a lady. So and for a lot of people do this 90-day planning thing. which looks like this, where you have your goals, your priorities, and then you do 4 weeks for the month. Now, if there's more room, if there's spare, and there's always a few spare days, you can put them at the bottom and have a little bit of added things. But so for week 1, week 2, and you map out exactly what is happening. So for me, in April, one of my goals is writing my book. So I'm not actually writing my book at the moment, but I am interviewing a lot of incredible leaders who have experienced burnout and who have used spiritual tools to heal themselves, so that I will have some stories to add to my book. And if you're writing a book, you may or may not know, but the actual writing is not the only thing that you do to write a book. The research and the thinking and the percolating of the ideas is as important as the writing. So sorry for not looking at the camera. I'm still looking at my board. Takeoff is also another priority of mine. So once I have my goals really clear, what I do is for every day, for every week. So there's a line with the weeks where I know if there's some main events that I need to remember and to focus on. But this is the bit where it gets really powerful, is that for every day I have an intention, note to self, whatever you want to call it. And then I have top 3 priorities for the day, the things that I really want to have done by the end of the day. But these are not the usual to-do list, as in, you know how you can actually be busy all day with demands from people and all sorts of things that life asks you to do, or even ideas you have for your business. But if you don't put it through the filter of where you want to be in a month, 3 months, a year's time, 5 years' time, then you could be doing a lot of things that don't actually push the needle on the bigger things. And I think that ties back into Steve Covey's habits of the most effective people. I think it's the 7 habits, where you have to be intentional, because if you look at his quadrant, which is 4 boxes, what is urgent but not important has a tendency to come in the way of what's important but not urgent. So being able to prioritize something that is important but not urgent, and that could be actually your health, making sure that throughout the week you put in that time to go to the gym, or that time to go and for a run, or that time to cook a healthy meal. These are the important things that you need to prioritize, especially if you want to prevent burnout, because burnout can come unannounced, in an unexpected way, and when it hits really hard. So be very intentional, have your priorities clear. And I suppose one of the biggest thing as well is to learn to say no. This is hard because we want to be kind, we want to help everyone, we want to and also we want to pursue opportunities. But if you have a clear intention of where you're going this month, what you're going to focus on, and for me as an entrepreneur, what was really, really hard is to pare down my priorities to only 1, maximum 2 a month, and be very precise about this. And if there's something that came up, now this is where you need to allow intuition to come in. But I'm going to tell you one thing. This is a hard lesson I learned 4 or 5 years ago, is that if you don't have a container for your intuition, if you don't have an intention for your life, if you don't have those priority and those goals, your intuition is going to run wild. Whereas if you have that plan, and this is something that's harder for creative people, for example. But if you have that plan, your creativity and your intuition can be held by the plan, and it actually helps to manifest it and make it into a reality. Whereas if you don't have that plan, if you don't have that structure, it's likely to be floating around rather than and becoming something real. So I used to resist planning because I'm such a creative person, but now I know that the planning is almost like the cup that holds my creativity, that holds all those juices. And so I need to find the right balance between the planning and the creativity. But planning has also helped me create more space in my life, because I I create more space between clients, for example. I create more space throughout the week. I reduce the windows when I see. So I plan, I have an ideal structured day that I actually changed recently, and it gave me so much freedom for my intuition to dance within that frame. Whereas I compare intuition to water, and if you don't have a cup to capture the water, to contain the water when it comes, it just falls on the floor and makes a big mess. So priorities are really important. Planning is really important as well. If you want some support with your planning and how to learn your priorities or to set your priorities, I would be very happy to help you. Feel free to message me, DM me. I know this video is going to go on YouTube as well, so that's more difficult for you to reach out to me on YouTube. So head over to my website, www.angedelumiere.biz. Ange de Lumiere is spelled Angedelumire. And there's a contact form where you can send me a message. I think that's it for this week. Have a wonderful week and have fun with those priority setting. Bye for now.